Gaming news for the week of February 15th, 2026. We missed last week. Don't ask me no questions about last week news because we just gonna act like it never happened. A lot has happened this week, and I don't think any of it's good. I don't think any of it's good. It is so funny because I feel like every time we get good news in the gaming industry, it's always bundled with, I can't curse yet. It's always bundled with some mess. So let's just get right into it. Xbox, they done fired Big Phil, man. And I was like, oh, he retired? Probably, possibly. We don't really know. We can speculate because that's all gaming news has devolved into over the last 10 years in media anyway. It's speculation. Either that or people just straight up lying. So we can go about what's just on here. I'm going to tell y'all what the article says, and I'm going to tell y'all what's reported, and then we can talk about kind of what may have happened. So I don't think anybody is surprised at Phil Spencer leaving Xbox. It's so funny. My dog Ricky said, I'm telling y'all, last year, I'm telling you, Phil Spencer's gonna leave, man. I'm like, man, Phil ain't leaving no time soon, because I thought he had just signed a deal within the last couple years to stay on for longer. He said, man, that dude is out of here. I said, all right. Well, he called me yesterday like, yeah, Phil left, man. I said, what? He said, that's not all. I said, what else? He said, Sarah Bond has stepped it down. I'm like, no. Phil retiring is one thing. And Sarah Bond, who was supposed to be the next person up, step it down at the same time. Sounds like people were pushed out, but I cannot say that for sure. I'm just speculating. But come on, man. The way the Xbox been moving, you got these two people who were the face of Xbox for quite some time being replaced by a whole new executive who this is the first time that they've been in a head of a gaming role division. And I don't think they've been at the Xbox that long. Let's go ahead and look at some of these quotes here. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, who has been at Microsoft since he had joined as an intern in 1988, and with Xbox, 1988. That is almost 40 years he's been with them. With Xbox since the software giant launched his first console in 2001, is retiring. Sources familiar with the matter who are not authorized to speak publicly confirmed to IGN. Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. Doesn't this seem sudden to you? Because a lot of times when there's a retirement, especially with something like this, it doesn't happen so quickly where we get the announcement and the person's gone in like 4 days. I think there's like a transitional period. The person is planning on retirement and maybe it's a few weeks to a few months. Instead of this, they like, yo, he's out of here in 4 days. Sarah is also, come on, man. I think the time of us standing in front of burning buildings and ignoring what's going on, it has to stop. And when I say us, I ain't talking about me, I'm talking about y'all. There's a lot of stuff going on. This is not a good console generation. And I'm not talking about the games. I'm talking about all the stuff going around, surrounding the actual game in the art of video game. We're going to get to PlayStation. We're going to get to them in just a second. Xbox President Sarah Bond, long thought by many, both inside and outside of Microsoft, to be Spencer's heir apparent, has resigned. If you don't know what heir apparent is, I need you to read a little bit more. Okay? Obvious in context what heir apparent is. I, along with many other people, thought that once Phil's left, Sarah was going to take over. Phil's been there. I mean, he's been there for almost 40 years. People typically don't work at companies for that long without, a lot of times there's people do a couple decades and they retire. People don't usually get 40 years out of a company, which is kind of impressive. But he's been the face of Xbox so long, it's just kind of crazy. So moving on here. Today marks an exciting new chapter for Microsoft Gaming as Asha Sharma, I'm sorry if I messed up the name, steps to the role of CEO, and I want to be the first to welcome her to this incredible team. Oh, all right, this is corporate speak. Working with her over past several months has given tremendous confidence. She brings genuine curiosity, clarity, and a deep commitment to understanding players, creators, and the decisions that shape our future. We know this is an important moment for our fans, partners, and the team, and we're committed to getting it right. I'll remain in an advisory role through the summer to support a smooth handoff. That's directly from Phil. It had to be from Phil because it sounded like Phil. So here we go. So this is the new CEO of Microsoft Gaming here. Sharma is a former VP of Product and Engineering at Meta and former Instacart COO who is also a board member of the Home Depot. She joined Microsoft. Come on, bro. in 2024. Slicky, I need you to relax. Let me rock out. Second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with the console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to, you know what? Nah, you can't give me a quote like this and make it sound like everything's okay with a move you just did. Nah. This is, but this, you know, when corporate people get together, they put together these statements. They always make sure everything sounds good. We're going to see what happens. Now, here is a quote from the new CEO. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. They're going to take this quote and use it against this person and the Xbox brand later. I wouldn't even do, look, if I was running these gaming divisions, bro, I wouldn't even do no interviews. Interviews aren't used for people to learn more about what's going on. They're used as receipts for shit you say later. They found this poor woman's Xbox gamer tag that she posted. I don't really care, but they were like, her gamer score is only 10,000. She don't play no games. I'm just like, that's the problem. See, Phil was playing games with y'all and all that shit, and now y'all expect everybody to play games with y'all. Nobody want to play with these nut ass gamers, and I'm not talking about just Xbox people. I'm talking about gamers, period. Y'all are embarrassing, man. Stuff y'all be doing. I get secondhand embarrassment from the gaming community probably every 6 weeks. But damn that. You get one Phil Spencer, he out of there. I hope, Phil, if you're retiring, are you permanently retiring or are you taking a long break? If you come back, do something like go to Sega USA or something. Bring all your relationship leverage over there and make some things happen. Because I would love to have Sega revive a lot of those games they've been sitting on for God knows how long. Phil, make it happen. Xbox fans, hold tight. It's going to be a lot of things different here. We're going to see what happens, but I don't know. Yeah, this cat, he's just going to make as much noise as possible while I'm doing my news video. All right, let's move on. Next up, PlayStation. It's y'all turn. PlayStation shuts down Bluepoint Games, makers of Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus remakes. Now, the Bluepoint studio, I believe, had like 70 employees, but the thing about Bluepoint Games is it was one of the best. It was one of the best remake and remaster teams out there. A lot of games, specifically Demon's Souls, which was really well received, they had a hand in remaking those games. While they may not produce games on their own, they were great at ports and they were great at remasters. That was one of their things. So a lot of people were waiting on, and still to this day, talking about where's a Bloodborne remaster. And they wanted Bluepoint to do it. Unfortunately, the whole studio has been shut down. It is 70 studio or 70 employees. So here we go. Bluepoint Games, one of several studios under PlayStation's umbrella of developers, is being shut down by its parent company. The closure means 70 employees will lose their job. The studio, best known for making games like Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus, and supporting work at other PlayStation studios. And here is the quote. And you know, nobody wants to read compliments after they get fired from their jobs. Okay? This doesn't make the things better. I don't like when corporations do this, and I'm sure a lot of people who have had jobs and have been laid off have received praise. Don't praise me, bitch. My job is gone. I don't want to hit it. Nothing you say after I'm fired matters. Nothing. Bluepoint Games is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences. We don't want to hear that. The last project that they did, 2021's Demon's Souls. They also helped with God of War Ragnarok. Anyhow, so Xbox, PlayStation, and everybody, listen. I want y'all to really, you need to separate the streaming services from the dangers of the business of acquisition. I hope that what's going on the last 4 or 5 years in this console generation has showed people that acquisition, a lot of times, is not a great thing. I would rather have 1,000 games from 1,000 people than have 10 companies have all the games to put out. When you have that much to manage, when you have that many bosses, when the bar of expectation goes up so high because you were a small studio that got bought by another studio that got bought by another studio, you can't guarantee in these exchanges that the person that you're going to be working for and with cares about what you're doing. They take these great creative minds in acquisitions and they just put them on the most casual of things. If you were a chef and you made all these amazing dishes, you had all this talent, and then somebody just fucking came into the kitchen and told you, I just want you to make cheeseburgers, you'd probably quit that job. And that's the kind of stuff that happens when all these great creative minds ends up being acquired 2 or 3, 4 times over. And there's always some big company. A lot of these acquisitions are so crazy because although they're acquiring one studio or one company, that company acquired 4 or 5 other assets along the way. We're missing out on games that we have been playing or missing for the last 10, 15, 20 plus years because along the way, that studio has been acquired and the person that bought them don't care about that game. Everybody in these comments right now can probably name 15 games that you missed that you're never going to see again. Had that studio not been acquired, there's a chance. That's not the only reason. People are some dumb motherfuckers that watch these videos. All right, I'm not saying that every game would be put out still if they weren't acquired. I'm saying that these things have a major impact. Right now, between the Netflix, Warner Brothers, and Paramount thing, Netflix has said that the gaming division of Warner Brothers was not even really the selling point of why they wanted to buy it. Now that Hogwarts and Batman and all the DC IPs and all these companies all these IPs that they have, let's see how they get treated after they get bought. And this is not just about Bluepoint. People are like, yo, who we gonna buy next? Bitch, you ain't got no money. More competition, more studios, more publishing companies means better games for us. And that's what it is. All right, enjoy the yap. Next, the bitch ass up too. Not you personally, but you know somebody's gonna come in here because people, their brains ain't right. All right, their brains ain't right. Stop buying stuff. That's been the defining. One of the worst things about this gen is I think it's been defined by acquisition. That Microsoft Activision acquisition went on for like 2 years. I seen literally it was like 500 articles on that shit. Anyway, moving on. Ubisoft. I'm sorry. It's just we have memed them. Their workers have gone on a strike. Excuse me. They're on day 2 of a 3-day strike. This article is a little old. I lied to y'all about the date. 1,200 employees in France and Milan. They're having issues with the job cuts and the RTO mandate, return to office. When COVID hit, a lot of jobs started to allow hybrid working, which allowed people to work from home, and it allowed people to work from long distances. It gave people more opportunities to get jobs they would otherwise not be able to get if they had to work inside of an office. It is time for our management to understand that they cannot do whatever they want, whether with public money or the work of hundreds of people, they said in the statement. This is coming from the strikers themselves. Ubisoft has about 17,000 people that they employ globally. Y'all know they're having a rough time over there. Game cancellations, stock prices going down, having to make games for Singapore that suck ass. It's just not been a great thing. They need to course correct and they need to do it quickly. We've talked about it many times. The RTO mandate has been especially unpopular as many Ubisoft employees work remotely and live hours away from the nearest headquarters. For these workers, the RTO mandate is an impossible task. Some employees see it as Ubisoft forcing them to resign without having to pay severance. Yes, this is one of these tactics that big corporations do. Ubisoft, y'all need to clean up. Because we're talking about Ubisoft, apparently Ubisoft says that they're working on 2 Far Cry games. Why 2? Why? Why not 1? Why not 1? The last Far Cry game was what, 2021. On Far Cry, anticipation is high, and we currently have 2 very promising projects in development. No more details on that. The franchise title, the last one was Far Cry 6 in 2021, which I played. We played almost every Far Cry game on this channel except for Primal, which I beat them on. I actually enjoyed that one. Previous reporting has suggested that the next entry will offer more radical upgrades to the series' usual formula. I don't know why they're doing 2. You guys have canceling games. You've been canceling games left and right. I don't even know if I believe this. And just for giggles, I've pulled up Ubisoft games here, and their list of IPs is so large that there is 4 separate Wikipedia pages. And this is what I mean about Ubisoft having all these phenomenal franchises that are just in purgatory. Just in the 2020s alone, you see what they have here. I don't know that we're going to see another Watch Dogs anytime soon. It's been 6 years since we've seen one of these. Just Dance lives forever. Scott Pilgrim, haven't played these, but I hear good things. Far Cry, Rider Republic. I don't know what happened with this thing. This is just the 2020s, guys. So let's go look at some of the other ones. I mean, look, and I'm not saying I would play all these games or I care to play all these games. I'm saying they have them. And at any time, they could just bust one of these out. But they canceled the Prince of Persia remake, if you didn't know that. Sands of Time. So what that says is they're not going to be working on a new Prince of Persia sequel. John White Snowboard, CSI. I mean, come on, man. Look at this. Michael Jackson, the Experience. This is them. Look at all. What am I going to do with all these? Look at all these. Get Driver. Look at this. Look at this. Rayman. Don't talk to me about Rayman. Okay. That, dude. I mean, that was just too. Look at this. You know what? I'm getting depressed looking at this. Let me get out of here. All right. I would really love for these companies to start really looking at games that they haven't put out in a long time. And I think it's time for more reboots. We're already in the era of remakes and remasters anyway. And I'm talking about real reboots, not the ones where y'all announced that y'all doing a reboot in 2026 and then it's 2034 and y'all still haven't put the game out. Because the industry loves to do that bullshit too. Moving on. It's a very depressing episode of the gaming news. I apologize, but I mean, State of Play was excellent, by the way. I did a full reaction to the entire showcase. It's like an hour and 20 minutes if you want to watch that. The biggest thing that I seen was the John Wick game. Just kind of scroll down to see this. If you do want to watch that, you can check it out. I had a blast. I was so excited. I haven't been that excited for a PlayStation event in 9 years or whatever. So I mean, it was really, really good. If you like games and you don't care where they come from or who makes them, this was a great showcase. If you have specifics about, you know, first party, excuse me, then you might have problems. But they showed a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. That Kana sequel looks amazing. I wrote down 2 pages of video games I was interested in from this showcase. I wrote down everything but 2 or 3 games from the showcase. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited for this game. Okay, but check out the PlayStation Showcase, or at least in the description, always, for all sources cited and all articles, if you want to kind of see what's going on here. That's some stuff to look at. Moving on. Call of Duty. Call of Duty. No news is good news for y'all either. All right. I never played Warzone Mobile, but they're shutting down the servers on April 17th. Has anybody in this comment section indulged in Call of Duty Warzone Mobile? Well, you won't be on. I'm sorry, April 17th, it's a wrap. They shutting it down. Apparently, they pulled Warzone Mobile from the App Store and iOS, Google Play and the App Store in 2025, but it was still playable if you had the game already downloaded. So I can bet you people were selling phones with the game installed for more money. Anyway, would y'all like me to read the corporate quote? If I got, y'all got, yeah, we're going to read this corporate quote. We're deeply grateful for the community that supported Call of Duty Warzone Mobile and to the developers who brought the experience to life. No, you're not. Player passion and feedback continue to shape the future of Call of Duty franchise. No, it doesn't. And we look forward to delivering meaningful seasonal content updates to Call of Duty Mobile. Now, that's true. Call of Duty Mobile is amazing. Call of Duty Mobile is what we wanted on console. I'm gonna be honest. If you never played Call of Duty Mobile, get you a controller and whoop people's ass who's sitting in the lobby at the doctor's office who don't have a controller. Beat the shit out of them. It's amazing. They have like every map from every game. They have all these guns. It's like Call of Duty Mobile represents what it looks like when you have an iconic franchise for like 20 years or something, but it really got super popular with Call of Duty 4. So it was 2007. It was like 18 years. They have so much content, and the Call of Duty Mobile shows you what it looks like when you really put all that content in one game. I'm telling you, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. I ain't spent a penny on there, so delete your comment. I ain't about shit on that game. Moving on. If you didn't know, they announced during a State of Play that there was a God of War trilogy remake coming. I love God of War. Seriously. This is one of my favorite franchises of all time. It's like top 10, top 5 maybe. I like a new God of War game. So Christopher Judge says that you'll be hearing about what they're doing in the late summer. The good thing about the God of War trilogy remake is the original voice actor, TC Carson. The original Kratos voice actor is reprising his role on there. So hopefully we'll get him and Christopher Judge somehow both in a new God of War project. Somehow, I don't know, they playing with timelines and shit, who knows? But they announced trilogy, and then there's also this game here, God of War Sons of Sparta. It's like a side-scroller, little 2D game from a small studio. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people felt scammed because you have to beat the game one time, I believe, to get co-op. What are we doing? Anyway, part of Sony's problem is in the midst of acquisitions and them trying to make more money, they decided to have like 15 live service games in development, and they canceled 13 of them bitches. And you know what? We danced on the grave of 13 live service games. Please don't do that bullshit. All right, a lot of these studios are only able to do one game at a time these days, and you're lucky if studios can do two. Some can. So if they're doing a live service game, that means they're doing a game. They're not doing the game that you want them to make, and I want them to make. Okay, get that live service shit out my face, man. Well, I get back. These companies need to get back to making a great single player game that has a great multiplayer attached with the game, not a whole separate game. And you just, I can only do one of these. And we learn multitasking again, please, for the love of God. Moving on. Oh, Discord. Discord is going to require a face scanner ID for full access next month if it suspects that you are not an adult. The same thing that was going on YouTube. This is in effect to protect teens and underage individuals from weirdos. Now, from that, some of you and some of us will be inconvenienced because it's going to think that you're not an adult, and it's going to make you submit your ID. Now, a lot of y'all already submitted y'all ID, so don't act like you can get an attitude because y'all be out here fucking gambling on sports betting apps and you submitted your ID to the state so you can gamble on Prize Picks, lose all your money, and then curse all athletes on Twitter because they messed up your parlay. So if you could do that, then I don't want to hear you complaining about Discord age verification. Now, for people who don't gamble and submit their ID so that they can win monies that they're never going to win, I feel you. Nobody wants to scan their face to talk to their friends on party chats on Discord. So I'm with you on that. But the rest of y'all people that have been gambling and submitting y'all faces so you can play Poker Stars online and shit, we don't want to hear you guys. Go over there. Now, they're saying it's algorithm based. That a majority of people on Discord are not necessarily looking at explicit or graphic content. When we say that, we're talking about things that are truly adult. Yeah, y'all be in them telegrams. I know what y'all do. Y'all be in them telegrams, y'all be in them Discord servers looking at ass. Looking at ass, all kind of ass that you should be purchasing for $5. You're getting it for free on them servers, and now you're underage, or it's gonna think you're underage. Now you're gonna have to submit your face to look at them buns. A majority of people are not going to see a change in their experience. Watch, I'm trolling. I'm gonna end up getting the age shit. The way they're calculating this is it's going to look at various things, the age of the account, things like that. So if your account's old enough, you probably won't see this. Also, there was like data leaks on the front end from hackers and all of that stuff. So there is that. Because if they get access to this information, they're going to have people's state IDs and all kind of fuck shit. moving on. So I can see why people don't want this. I was trolling. I'm trolling for half the news videos every time. Some people, they don't understand sarcasm. Highguard, we hardly knew you, bruh. The whole website's off now. Most of the staff has been fired. They're saying that they're committed to continuing the game. Why was you committed to that website and then the people that work there? You expect these companies, I think they don't know. They play chicken. They get closer and closer to that ledge. Oh, we're okay. Now the 2 front wheels is over top of the ledge. And y'all telling me you're okay, you're not. Highguard won't be around too much longer. Their player count has fallen 99%. It had a peak concurrent player count of 100,000 launch week. That has been reduced to 1,600 for various reasons, none of which we need to get into this episode because we've already been through this. And people in the comments could provide the reasons why they're not playing Highguard if you so choose to. I told y'all, the live service model is extremely and absurdly volatile. It's an extremely high risk, high reward move. When it pays off big. But when it don't pay off, it's Concord, Highguard, and 15 other live service attempts at a video game that you can name. Do not let these industry people tell you that single player is dead. You could always go back and play your single player game at any time. Backlog. We roll gamers. My backlog, I probably got 90 games in my backlog or some shit. I can pull those out at any time. The same can't be said for a live service game once some servers come down. Don't let them tell you that bullshit. They want to get to a place where people only play live service games. And there are a lot of people that only play live service games, but it's the same 5 games. I've already reported this. Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, GTA 5, Call of Duty. I think they're the big 5. There's more than that. That's like for the console. For the PC, it's like the PC is crazy. Anyway, that is kind of it for the news. I trolled my way through an entire news week. We are going to take a peek at next week's game releases for the week of the 22nd. Not very much going on in terms of the big, huge games. But Resident Evil Requiem is going to touch my body on February 27th, and it should touch yours as well. Oh, Nintendo. Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green is coming out for the Switch on February 27th. Nintendo, boy, y'all get away with more murder than anybody in the game industry. I can't imagine what would happen if PlayStation, Xbox did some of the stuff Nintendo gets away with. But the rules aren't the same for everybody. And the faster people realize that in life, the faster you won't be as surprised by some of the shit that goes on. This is not even a remake or nothing. Ain't this just a port? This is a port. Not too familiar with some of these other games on here, but this is what we have for here to the end of the month. I love y'all. We went a little bit long. We'll see what happens. Take me back to gaming pre 2015. Take me back to where people actually played games before they did podcasts and argue with people on Twitter and Facebook groups. All right, take me back to before live service Fortnite was so good and addictive. Everybody copied their model and their full price titles. Take me back. I'm done, bro. I love y'all, man. Like the vid, man. See y'all next time.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn